I feel like my life just collapsed overnight. Everything I thought I knew. Everything I planned for the future. It all feels like a cruel joke now. My wife and I have 2 little girls. They're 3 and 5. A few weeks ago, my wife, Annie, told me she needed to talk. Before that conversation even started, something felt wrong. She had arranged a sleepover for our daughters at her sister's house. That alone scared me. She has always been strongly against sleepovers. Always. No exceptions. And now, suddenly, she insisted. She sat me down and told me the truth. She said she'd been having an emotional affair with a coworker for about 6 months. And recently, it had become physical. She didn't cry while she told me. That might sound strange, but it's not unusual for her. She's deeply emotional, she just struggles to show it outwardly. Still, hearing the words come out of her mouth made me feel sick. Disgusted. Not just at what she did, but at how easily she'd lied to me for so long. She works as a corporate auditor for a large company. Networking is a huge part of her job. Late-night calls. Constant texts. Even on weekends. I never questioned it. I trusted her completely. Now I realize how blind I was. I asked her how it started. She told me he was a new hire. Around her age. Married. That's why she felt safe spending time with him. At first, it was just work talk. Shared interests. Safe conversations. Then they bonded over sports. Tennis, specifically. Every Saturday, she'd go to the local tennis club. She always told me she was playing with some people from work. I never questioned it. She never once mentioned his name. I had met him once at her office Christmas party. He said hello politely, then stayed away from us the rest of the night. I assumed they barely knew each other. I was wrong. When I asked her to tell me everything, every lie she'd told about him, it turned into a list that felt endless. A few months earlier, her company had organized a team getaway. She told me partners weren't allowed. That was a lie. I asked her if it was because she wanted to spend time with him. She just shrugged and said she didn't know. Every Friday after work, she went to the pub with coworkers. I'd asked before if I could join them sometimes. She always said it would be awkward, that no partners ever came. Another lie. They went on pseudo-double dates with her coworkers. When people asked about me, she told them I was too busy. Again and again, her lies were about keeping me away from him. Keeping us from ever being in the same space. That's when it really hit me. I felt it physically. A sharp, crushing pain in my chest. The woman I loved. The woman I trusted with my life. The mother of my children. She had built a separate emotional world with another man right under my nose. I didn't want to be near her. I didn't even want to look at her. But I forced myself to keep listening. I needed the full truth. I asked how it became physical. She told me it happened after work drinks one Friday. She was tipsy. They went outside to the smoking area together. She had quit smoking years ago, but being around him made her start again. They were talking about his marriage. He said he wasn't happy. She hugged him. Then he kissed her. I asked if she kissed him back. She said she didn't push him away the way she should have. Whatever the hell that means. She said she left immediately and came home. That night suddenly made sense. She had been quiet. Distant. I thought she was just exhausted. I put the girls to bed myself and gave her space. Now I know why. She told me she confessed because she realized she'd crossed a line emotionally, and she thought the only way not to lose me was to tell me the truth. She said she knew it was wrong. That at first, she just liked the attention. That it made her feel attractive again. I couldn't listen anymore. I wasn't perfect. I know that. After our second daughter was born, my job became more demanding. That was the plan. Work hard now, build a future, retire early. She supported that. Encouraged it. I tried to be a good husband. A good father. I tried to give them a stable life. I wanted to scream. I wanted to rage. But that's not who I am. Instead, I shut down. That night, I slept on the couch, crying into the cushions like a child. One question haunted me, and I was too terrified to ask it. Did she love him? What if she said yes? What if she wanted to leave? How would I survive not seeing my daughters every day? How could I live knowing the love of my life was with someone else? I replayed every moment of our marriage in my head, looking for where I failed. Maybe she needed more from me. Maybe I didn't listen enough. Maybe this was my fault. But no matter what, the lying and sneaking around wasn't justified. I thought we were just going through a rough patch. I had tried to suggest date nights, trips, anything to reconnect. She always shut it down. Blamed the kids. Blamed timing. Our sex life had slowed. After our second daughter, she struggled with her body. Stretch marks. Insecurity. I didn't want to pressure her. I thought I was being respectful. Turns out, she was sharing herself with someone else instead. The next morning, I realized something uncomfortable. Her confession wasn't enough. I didn't know what she wanted. I didn't know what she was willing to do. I didn't even know if she truly wanted to fix our marriage or if she was just trying to ease her guilt. We went out for breakfast. My hands were shaking the entire time. I asked the question I'd been dreading all night. Did you love him? She answered immediately. No hesitation. She said no. She said she had just gotten caught up in attention from the wrong place. That she couldn't imagine losing our family. That she didn't expect me to forgive her, but she had to tell me about the kiss. I told her I didn't know how I could ever trust her again. That she had destroyed the image I had of her as a wife and a mother. That the woman I thought I married wouldn't be capable of this. That's when she finally broke down. She said she'd do anything to fix it. Anything. If I asked her to quit her job, she would. She pulled out her phone and showed me that she had deleted and blocked his number. She said from now on, any communication would only happen through monitored company systems. I could see the guilt all over her. But guilt doesn't rebuild trust. All I could think about was how easily I had believed her every time she walked out the door. How confident she was in her lies. How natural it all seemed. How do you trust someone again after that? I asked for space. I moved into the guest bedroom while I tried to figure out what I even wanted. She kept talking about couples therapy. About how she couldn't live with herself if our daughters lost their parents because of her mistake. She grew up in a broken home. She didn't want that for them. I told her I would never abandon my kids. No matter what happened between us. I spoke to my older brothers. They told me I should try to make it work for my daughter's sake, but also said she should quit her job so she'd never see him again. That felt wrong to me. She worked for years to earn that position. I didn't want to destroy her career. But at the same time, I couldn't stand the idea of that man existing anywhere near her. I had to constantly stop myself from fantasizing about confronting him. About hurting him. Since we started sleeping separately, she's been sending me good morning notes. She has our 5-year-old deliver them, knocking on my door and announcing herself like a little messenger. It's sweet. And it hurts. Because I know she's trying now because she's scared. Because she's guilty. We've been polite. Focused on the kids. Keeping things normal on the surface. She made me a cup of coffee one morning. Told me she loved me. I couldn't say it back. I haven't kissed her. I haven't touched her. Every time I look at her, I picture her with him. Every boundary she let him cross. If I let myself get close, I'm afraid I'll cave and still never trust her again. And that wouldn't be fair to either of us. I don't know what to do. I can't imagine my life without her. But I also can't imagine staying married to someone I can barely look at. After I shared what was happening, time didn't suddenly bring clarity. If anything, it stretched everything out into this quiet, suffocating limbo. My wife worked from home the entire following week. Then she took her annual leave, time she'd been saving up for years. I didn't ask her to. She said she felt uncomfortable going into the office and that she knew it would only make things harder for me. I made a point to get out of the house. I spent time with my brothers. A couple of close friends. I didn't tell everyone what was going on, but it felt good to have moments where I wasn't constantly replaying everything in my head. The girls didn't seem to notice much at first. Until one night, my oldest asked why Mama and Papa weren't in the same room anymore when she came to our bedroom in the middle of the night. I panicked for a second, then told her I wanted to be closer to her room at night since the guest bedroom was closer. She accepted that explanation without question. A few nights later, she even crawled into bed with me and fell asleep there. Both of us have tried desperately to keep our kids away from this. To protect them from adult problems they shouldn't have to carry. A few days later, after we put the girls to bed, I finally felt ready to talk again. We sat at the dining table. Just the two of us. The house was quiet. I asked her to hand me her phone. She hesitated, not in refusal, but in fear, and then gave it to me. She kept saying she could explain everything instead. That she could just tell me what was in the messages. I didn't want a summary. They had mostly talked on WhatsApp. She backed up her messages regularly, so restoring the chat wasn't difficult. I don't think she realized that. I asked her to stay seated while I read. In case I needed context. There was so much to scroll through. Message after message. Weeks. Months. Reading them felt like being cut open slowly. He complimented her constantly. Told her how beautiful she was. How much he wished they'd met when they were younger. He had a favorite top of hers, made a point to comment every time she wore it. I asked her if she wore it more often for him. She said the thought had crossed her mind when she got dressed in the morning. There were nights they went out dancing with coworkers. Messages where he told her how sexy she looked. Messages where she told him I didn't say things like that anymore. She never shut him down. She didn't fully commit either, but she hovered in that space just close enough to keep it alive. I noticed a pattern. Weeks of surface-level chatting. Then suddenly, late-night conversations where one of them would pour out their feelings. She told him how exhausted she was from being a mother and a wife. How she needed a break from everything. When we argued, she went to him. Told him she wasn't sure if I loved her anymore. That maybe I was only still with her because of the kids. Reading that felt unbearable. When I finished, I looked at her and asked again if she'd slept with him. I told her that if she had, she needed to tell me now. She swore on our children's lives that she hadn't done anything beyond kissing. I asked if there was anything else inappropriate. She admitted that during the work trip, they'd gone out drinking together. She sat on his lap. He told her he wanted to sleep with her. She said they were both drunk. She let it slide. The next morning, he claimed not to remember saying it. I asked her if she'd been tempted. She said yes. She said she knew she wouldn't be able to hide it if she crossed that line. And that she loved me, and she knew she'd lose our family if she did. I thought knowing everything would make the decision easier. It didn't. The sick feeling came back, heavier than before. I looked at her sitting across from me and tried to imagine a future without her, and my mind refused to go there. I love her. But knowing she shared her fears, her doubts, her emotional world with someone she'd known less than a year shattered something inside me. She told me she'd started therapy. Her first time ever. She encouraged me to do the same. Said I needed a safe place to put all the anger. I told her not to do it for my sake. She insisted anyway. Because the truth is, I'm furious. I want to hurt the man who inserted himself into my marriage. I want to confront him. I want to destroy him for what he tried to take from me. And I hate that feeling. I asked if her family knew. She told me she'd told her sister. They'd fought. Her sister told their mother. And her family wasn't defending her actions. Her mother came to see me. Apologized for what her daughter had done. Then asked me to give her another chance. She told me she'd been where I was, except her husband had actually slept with multiple women and eventually walked away from his family. That conversation stayed with me. My wife still had a few days of leave left. She decided she would resign when she returned to work. I didn't ask her to do that. Part of me hated that she was giving up something she worked so hard for. Another part of me felt relief I didn't want to admit. Complete separation felt like the only way forward. I'm still sleeping in the guest room. Still struggling with physical closeness. It feels too soon. But when she reaches for me now, when she kisses my cheek, I don't pull away anymore. I feel bottled up. I snap at people. At work. At home. Mostly at her. I've noticed I've been drinking more. When she mentioned it, I said something cruel, asked her if she could blame me. She left the room in tears. My brother says it will hurt less with time. That we'd have to build something new from scratch. But right now, the distance between us feels enormous. She's trying. Almost too much. She agrees with everything I say. Walks on eggshells. And somehow that makes me angrier. Part of me wants us to scream at each other. To break the silence. To feel something real again instead of this polite, fragile coexistence. I don't know what the right choice is. I don't know how to move forward. All I know is that staying feels impossible. And leaving feels just as unthinkable.